What's up, Vivants? It's Thursday. I don't have 12 nights of wine, but after last night, or after yesterday, and after doing 12 nights of talking to you guys live every day, tasting some wine, I was like, this has kind of been fun, and I felt like maybe I should continue it, and it seems like you guys were kind of into it, so I thought, at least through the month of December, through the end of 2018, I would just grab my phone, which I always have, and grab some wine, which I always have, grab a glass, which I usually have, and just sit and chat with you guys and see what's going on, taste some wine, and see if you had any burning questions to ask while I talk about my favorite subject, the vino. So let's pop this open. This is canned wine, a highly, widely debated subject that is hot in the wine arena right now. The canned wine started becoming popular a few years ago, probably most famous with the Sophia brand. Then you saw Underwood do a canned wine from up in Oregon. But now, as of late, you see pretty much everyone doing like some version of a canned wine. It's really, really popular. These guys I talked about a little while ago. If you haven't seen this video, I sat down with the founders of Sans Wine Company. They're two local people here in Napa Valley. They're young, they're hip, they're super cool. He's a viticulturist and a winemaker, and she was more on the sales and distribution side. They got married, decided it was a good idea to make a canned wine, and they make one with really, really great integrity, really great quality. The same way that you would make a wine that goes into a bottle, goes into the can. It's just a little bit easier. I love it for, one, the accessibility. I love that you can just pick it up, travel with it, cool it down quickly, have it at a party, so on and so forth. The only thing I will mention is that a can of wine like this is equivalent to a half a bottle of wine, which seems crazy when you look at the tiny amount of liquid that could possibly be in this can right now, but it's true. It's a half a bottle of wine, so you can't just sit here and chug this like you would a beer. You can, obviously, but I don't recommend drinking it at that speed without having someone watch your back so you're not falling over quickly. But I will crack it open, and this is Zinfandel. This is 100% Zinfandel from Mendocino County, just north of us here. Really cool region where you can find great values. Here, you can see the color. This is coming from Poor Ranch. It's an organic vineyard. It's been around forever. It's called Poor Ranch, not because they're poor. Wow, that is a lot of wine. I don't know why I just poured that much in the glass. That was kind of obnoxious. Anyway, it's a full half bottle wine. Fun fact, did you know most normal size wine glasses can hold an entire bottle of wine? Yep, 25.3 ounces can fit in this tiny little glass. I don't recommend it. You can break the stem. Anyway, Poor Ranch is named after the poor family that live there, farm this vineyard. A lot of my favorite winemakers get fruit from this vineyard, and I think there's a lot of quality associated with this vineyard. Like I said, these guys are doing mostly, sorry, I'm going to stop reading these comments because that's what this is about. Just opened a bottle of Chateau Saint Jean 2016. Oh, fantastic. 16, an awesome vintage here in California. We're loving what's coming out of 16. I haven't tasted a ton of the Pinots right now, but I'm loving them. And the cabs that I'm seeing right now are fantastic. I think it's a stellar vintage, and if the abundance of 100-point scores that we have already seen is any indication, I think we're all in for a very special treat and some probably very expensive wines coming forth. Anyway, this is 100% Zinfandel, so I'm going to talk about the wine coming from Mendocino. Let's get into the nose. There's so much wine in this glass. All right, so just like we talked about things before, like having a slightly more, what would you call that? Something a little bit more nostalgic, something that's indicative of your childhood, of your youth. We talked about strawberry fruit roll-ups being indicative of like a Grenache. I've talked about, what was the other one? Root beer I talked about earlier, my live Twitter tasting with Karen McNeil. I find a lot of like root beer, sarsaparilla, even Dr. Pepper notes in Cabernet sometimes, especially from these hotter parts. Zinfandel, one of our big markers, is something a little unusual. We can't really talk about on the floor with tables, but independently, when we're trying to blind taste wines, blueberry yogurt is a huge marker for Zinfandel, and that's kind of what I'm getting in here. It smells like Dannon blueberry yogurt. It's a very odd smell, but it definitely exists in the Zinfandel. Now you'll also get lots of things like pepper and a little bit more red fruits, black fruits, purple fruits. Zinfandel is a slightly more confounding grape to figure out on the nose and on the palate. It can play lots and lots of different ways. I had one last night from Lazier Meredith up in Mount Veeder. They call it Tribodrag, which is one of the original genetic names for the grape. Really, really stellar, cool bottle of wine, but definitely smells and drinks a lot lighter, higher acid, brighter, and more Italian style where it's called Primitivo. So let's get into the glass here. For sure not going to drink all of this. Really, really blueberry. Tastes like blueberry pie. A little less yogurty. It's not creamy. It doesn't taste like yogurt. It just kind of smells like yogurt. It has a slightly sour, reductive smell to it. On the palate, it's really clean. Zinfandel gets a really interesting reputation. It can be loved by people who love really, really inky, intense, fruit-forward, heavy Zinfandels. And then you also have Zinfandels that are really light and bright, almost Pinot Noir-like. This one falls definitely on the more light side of the spectrum. A little lighter, more bright, a little bit more fresh. Of course, this was in my fridge, so it has a little bit of a chill. I kind of like these canned wines with a chill. There's something that feels correct about that. I don't know why, but I like red wines, white wines, wines in a can with a slight chill, and this one drinks a little bit better with a chill. So one more sip. It's a low tannin grape, meaning not a ton of dryness, not a ton of astringency, doesn't normally see a ton of time in new French oak, maybe a small amount of time, but often treated with the same regiment that something like Pinot Noir, a Carignan, things that maybe get a little bit of new French oak, a little bit of time in concrete. Yeah, Michael is saying lots of varied styles out there, seeing some with partial to full carbonic. Absolutely. We're seeing a lot of carbonic maceration with regard to Zinfandel. So tons of different styles. So when people request a Zinfandel, my first question to them is, what are some of your favorite brands, favorite regions, things like that, because they can vary so much depending on where they're coming from and what stylistic winemaking choices are being done. This is really clean. These guys lean a little bit more hands-off in the oak department. They typically do things in concrete. Also, because this is a 17, these guys are not really letting this spend any time in oak. I think it's just concrete. This is not carbonic, but they do a carbonic Carignan that's delicious. This is really lean, really light, really bright, but it has a ton of fruit and it's really pretty, easy to drink on a hot summer day with a chill. Let's go in for one last sip. Yeah, delicious. It's starting to take on like a darker underbrush character, which I'm really enjoying. I think most of the time you can kind of expect Zinfandel as long as it's not a big opulent. Okay, so here's how you can sort of boil this down. If you see, I'll get back to your questions in a second. If you see a Zinfandel that's like $50, $60, $70 or more, you can almost guarantee that that's going to be a big, opulent, heavily oaked, heavily extracted Zinfandel that's going to lean on the opposite side of the spectrum. Anything under that, more often than not, you're going to find a little lighter, brighter, more fresh, less time in new oak, and that is it's just simply numbers. I mean, you're looking at a wine that didn't cost as much to make as something that sat in new French oak for 12, 24, or 36 months. They're just cheaper to make, therefore the cost imparted to you is a little less. Where can you find this wine? This wine you can find online. I would invite you to take a peek at the video that I did with them. It's long, but you can watch it on 2x speed. But they talk about the whole process of making this wine, where they're sourcing the grapes, how canning is different than bottling, and they really answer a lot of questions. So you can find it online. Out here in California, you can find it at some of the local stores, like Sunshine Grocery Store, Whole Foods, who else has it? Backroom Wines has it. As far as the rest of the country, I don't know where you can find it. Hey, Deldrick Grimes. I don't know where you can find it, but I know that you can definitely order it, and it comes in these really cool, you know when like posters are sent to you, and it's in one of those cylindrical tubes. It comes in like a can of like packs of 3. They're kind of like situated horizontally, so they'll come to you that way, which is super cool, or they'll come to you in a box. So I really like canned wine as a gift. I think it's great for parties. I think it's great for bridal showers, baby showers, whatever you may have coming up. If you have any more questions, give them to me now, because I'm gonna go, and I bought a car today. It's very exciting. I'm not gonna tell you what it is. Oh yeah, check wine search in your state. Yeah, I mean, the internet's there for a reason, and aren't we lucky? Anyway, yeah, so I bought a car today. I'm very excited. No more Mini Cooper. Let's see, opening a bottle of Penfolds in just a second. Need to try some canned wines. Yeah, I agree. Penfolds is awesome. I haven't had a Penfolds wine in too long, so I've got to get up on that, talk to my friends at Treasury Wine Estates, see if I can get myself a nice bottle of Penfolds. I think tomorrow I am going to be around in the afternoon, so I think maybe what I'll do is show you what I got. I can tell you it's a lot different than my Mini Cooper. It's a lot bigger. It's a different color, and I'm super excited about it. So I'm going to go inside, enjoy the rest of this giant glass of wine. I don't know why I thought this was a good idea to pour all of this in here, but it's not going anywhere. As always, if you like this video, hit the thumbs up. If you want to keep hanging out, tune in, turn your notifications on to let you know when I'm going live. I haven't found a schedule, so I don't always know when that's going to happen, and today was a little crazy. I was wine tasting all day. I went to a place called Harbison, which is really cool. I'm going to talk about that later. They are a winery in Oakville. They sit right next to Streaming Eagle Vineyard, and they are about a quarter of the price. Literally, their properties border, and they've gotten 100-point scores, and their prices, though not inexpensive, are a lot less than these surrounding neighboring properties, so I'm super excited about that. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. Appreciate it, and I'll see y'all soon. Bye.